video, we are going to make this using p5.js. And we are going to do that with the p5.js web editor. All you can do is search for it. The first link that you get will land you here. Here you are given two functions. Make sure before we get started, make sure that you have checked in auto refresh. The first that you see here is your file name, which is named as sketch.js by default. This is where you will start writing the code that will help you create your picture with the code. So here we see two functions, function setup and function draw. The setup function is run. Whatever code you will write inside this function will run just once, while whatever code you write in the draw will run again and again in loop. So in here, in the setup function, you have created another basic function that you need to get started with PS, which is creating your canvas. So what you see here is your canvas. If you change the size of X, which is the width, and 400 is the height. So here it is 400 units, and here it is around 600 pixels. And once that done, this in the draw we see that there is another default function, which is the background. And if now here in the background you can give the RGB value, and since we want to create this scenario, let us give a background of the sky blue color, and for the sky blue color the RGB value is there you go. This is the sky blue value that we have given. Now let us get started with adding a simple circle to our canvas. Here the circle is going to represent the sun, and we want to add the circle in our canvas. And for that we are going to use the circle function, and in the brackets and the semicolon. Now in the circle in brackets you need to define three values. So let us look at what we need to define. The first value represents the x position of the circle. The y value, the second value represents the y position of the circle, and then the size of the circle. So when we define the x, y values of the circle, remember that we are defining the position of x and y for the center of the circle. In the canvas, if this is our canvas, which is let's say of 6 by 6 pixel, then the origin is placed on the top left corner. So if you say my circle is positioned at 1x and 0y, it means that it is positioned here, since the y, which is down, is 0, and x, which is right, to the right how much it will be, to the down how much it will be. Represent is by y, and to the right it is represented by x. So if I say the circle x is equals to 1, which is place it here, y is equals to 0, place it here, and the sizes could be 2, so the circle will be this big. And I can make you show how it is done. So if this is 2 pixels, I am going to also show you with using opacity. So the center is placed at 1x, 0y, and 2 pixel. If we say that y position is also 1 and x position is also 1, then it will place it here at this point. The y is 1, the x is 1, and the position is 2. So that's it. That's what we need to do. We need to give three values in the circle function, and our circle will be created. So let's see how to do that. The first, let us define the x position, and for now let us say 0, which is, if I say the x also 0, the y also 0, it will place the circle here on the center, on the top left corner, and we may only see the one quarter of the circle. So let us try 0x, 0y, and the total height is 400. So let us give the radius of the circle as 400, or the diameter of the circle is 800. So the radius will become 400. So this is the radius, and this is also the radius. And you see now the center is on the top left. Now what if I want to make the circle total size is 400, so the radius will be 200, and you see that this 200, this 200. Now let us say this x position, I mean the circle needs to be on the right. The circle center needs to be shift to the right. So for that I will define the x position, and I decide that it needs to be shift 200 pixels away to the right. So hence we can see the complete circle because the size is 400. And now let us also say that the y position, like it should move 200 pixels down also. So the position is 200 pixels down and 200 pixels to the right, the center. And we can see the whole circle now. Now what if we want to place it in the middle? For that, since now it is placed in the middle, but here this canvas 6, the total pixels is 600, and half of 600 is 300. So we want the center to be placed at 300 pixels to the right, which is the x position. So here it is. Now I can change, now the center is placed in the middle. Now I can change the size as per my need, and see, this is how you can place the circle, how in terms of defining x and y, and also the size. Now we want this circle which represents the sun to be on the top right. So for that we want this 100 pixel circle center to be placed around 550 pixels to the right. So we will define it as 550 and 50 from the 50 down. So here it is, 550 pixels to the right and 50 pixels down. So now our sun is placed on the top right. But what if you want to give the color? Here in p5.js, you need to give color before we create this circle, and we are going to use fill for that. So we will write the fill function, and in the fill function you need to define the color. Either you can give RGB value like this, or you can, in the inverted commas, you can give simply yellow, and see, this is what you can get. So p5.js can recognize some common colors like yellow, red, green, black, and white. So that's it for the first video. In the next video we will continue our this painting scenario to draw this, and you can then slowly learn how to use p5.js. Thank you everyone. See you in the next video.